The Garden Report is brought to you by FanDuel, the exclusive wagering partner of the CLNS Media Network.
I don't know who asked this question. We'll throw up one more Joe bite. Here's Joe talking about Rob. Okay?
This better be good.
Huh? We'll see. Let me see if I can find it. Joe talking about, here's Joe on Rob. Where is he?
Talk about it.
Here you go.
Rob tonight, how close
it's Bobby.
To that Rob you saw last year? And again,
wow, he's still going.
Get him, Bobby.
Yeah, close. He just has to be consistent. And so when he plays at that level, we're a different team, and he brings an energy. And, he brings a level of joy to our team constantly. So when he plays like that, we're different.
What was the message there, and how did you challenge him? How did you respond?
Rob's the kind of guy where he's got to realize he has a lot of gifts and he has a lot of abilities. And, it goes back to what you guys always talk about. Guys need to feel appreciated, need to feel empowered. And so, every conversation with Rob's about when he's at his best, we're a different team. And so just constantly reminding him of that.
I'm going to try not to think about Grant Williams when he's talking there. It was hard not to, but let's just focus on Rob.
Yeah.
You got to play Rob in order to have that happy joy feeling among the team. When Rob's playing like 19, 20 minutes, it's kind of hard to have the kind of joy when he plays 29.
So I'm going to side with Joe here. I think Rob played 19 minutes for a reason last game, and that's because his head wasn't there. He wasn't that guy. And I think the fact that Joe
is his head ever there?
No, but that's the thing
like
is
he's
like
in the clouds, dude.
It's like, oh my God, Rob, if you just just do like these two things, only two things.
Do that
and you
again.
do it again. Well, you're awesome. Forget post-up moves. Forget all of that stuff. Just do these two things and you'll be great.
Yeah.
And remember that you're really athletic. And every time you go out there, you have to remind him, it really is the level of mental management with Rob. And I don't think there's any malice there. I just think it's ultimately you're just trying to focus the guy to remember that you can be this unstoppable force. Can you just do that?
I just think that Rob is so he's so locked into knowing that I'm playing with Jason Tatum. I'm playing with Jaylen Brown. My mentor, Al Horford, is here. And sometimes I think he thinks that, he thinks he's a kid and that I'm just supposed to kind of fit in with the I'm glad that they're giving me a seat at the adult table, but I'm not really an adult yet.
Yeah.
And I think Joe was just like, no, you a grown ass man. Do you see what you do?
He doesn't know. He's Bruce Willis at the beginning of Unbreakable. He doesn't know, He doesn't know yet. He's like, I guess I never have been sick. And I can bench press 800 freaking pounds. That is weird, right?
That's pretty good, John. I like that one.
He doesn't realize it. He does this stuff. He does these superhuman things and he doesn't get it.
And I don't get why. I don't understand how he doesn't get it because his teammates tell him that, his coach tells him that. All of our damn questions are about Rob.
CLNS Media's Celtics coverage is brought to you by FanDuel. New customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win.
You did this really amazing thing. Let's talk about that really amazing thing that only you could do. And it's like, well, I'm just trying to help the team.
Yep.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate it.
No, it's true. It's nuts.
But he was so good tonight, though. I mean, he was just so good. And
keeping plays alive.
Well, even though his numbers look good, I mean, 13 and 15 with 2 blocks and 3 assists, there were so many other little things he did. I mean, there were times where, DeJounte would look to attack and then he'd see Rob and he'd be like, oh shit, swing it back out. And times where, that floater that Trey loves to hit you with, Trey thought twice about taking that shot and he just pulled it back out. He prevented a number of shot attempts from being taken simply because he was on the floor. And this was, again, this was definitely one of Rob's best games as a Celtic. Even if the numbers, he's had better games with better numbers, but in terms of impact, big game moments, this was one of Rob's best.
Definitely. Yeah, I said it off the top of the show, he just was so active out there, and he's the reason that Jaylen Brown hit that dagger 3, right? He kept that play alive and they dished it to Jaylen in the corner.
Yeah.
So he did a lot of little things out there too, not just the rebounds. And I just thought that, if they can get, I think I said this after game 1, I might have to have a massive apology, Cam, if he has an awesome playoff series, because I was pretty down on Rob like all year, and I didn't really believe that he was just going to be able to turn it on. But like you said, Game 3 was hopefully Game 3 was an exception, and the Rob that we saw tonight and the Rob that we saw in the first couple of games is the one that they're going to get moving forward. Because if that's the case, they're going to be pretty damn hard to beat. Sean just said it earlier. They have 7 starters, basically. There's nobody else, but they have 7 starters.
Yeah, I've used the Neo reference a lot last year because last year was the first year where he was beginning to believe, like you could see he started to get it and then the injury kind of set him back a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I guess the fear with Rob was the health, and there's a lot of people who were like, Sherrod, you had that conversation with him and he was saving himself, but like, we weren't sure if we'd ever see it. I still honestly, I think people need to go back and watch the tape. I still think it's 90%. I think people are forgetting what he was doing. He is not doing all of it, but he's still doing so much. But I mean, last year he was blocking threes when he was standing under the basket. It was some really silly stuff. He was challenging a little bit more. He was a little bit more of a menace. He's picking his spots a tad more this year. Yep. And you picked up on that. And then it's just being smart about when to pick your spots. Don't jump out of the building on an up fake and waste all of your power-ups, save it for a time where you really need that boost. And he's kind of got it now a little bit more, which I think that's the key is if you've only got like 20 good plays in you, or 20 bursts, make sure you're using them at the right time.
Right.
Yeah, and he got caught in the air a couple times tonight. But there were at least, for the 2 or 3 times he got caught, there were like 5 or 6, 7 times where he didn't. And Atlanta had to do something different. So he's getting better in that regard. And I think that's just part of growing. As a player in this league, understanding the mental part of the game, understanding what you cannot. It's for Rob, it's not about whether he has the ability to do anything. He can do anything from an ability standpoint. It's being smart about when you do it and understanding that you don't have to waste all that damn energy. If you've got if Clint Capella, for example, is at, top of the key, you don't have to run out and try to guard that. You just wait till he tries to bring his little ass down in the block. And that's when you got to D him up. Yeah, but if let's say if Trae Young beats his man off the dribble, you can't just chill in the paint. You got to come out and try to contest that. And so he's getting better at figuring out how to discern between when to step out and contest and when to just kind of lay back and just let the plays come to him.
Agree with all of that, and we talk about the best version of ourselves and Rob being the best version of himself.
The Garden Report is brought to you by BetterHelp. If you want to live a more empowered life, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/garden today to get 10% off your first month. This edition of the Garden Report is also brought to you by Athletic Greens. Visit athleticgreens.com/garden for a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase.